Welcome back to FedBiz Exchange. I'm Michelle Brown, your coach and your mentor. So let's jump back into the relationships that you will have as you are searching for your products to sell to the government, whether it's through sam.gov, a solicitation posted on sam.gov, or if you are in the DLA program, whether you're with me or you're doing it on your own. Either way, a product is a product is a product. The process is the same. How it gets to you, how it's made, who makes it, how the government identifies where they want the product to come from, the process is the same. And I just want you to understand one thing. The government, meaning the contracting officers, don't always understand this process, and neither do they care most of the time. All they know is that they need a specific product. They are buying these products for users in different areas, different departments. It could even be a different agency. So you need to understand that they don't always understand what you have to do to get this product. And they don't really care. And why should they? It's not their job. So it's your job to understand this process. So I want you to understand in this video how manufacturers sell their products to you. This chart is a very good diagram demonstrating how this manufacturer sells their CDs. So as you can see, there is a supplier of raw materials. And those of you that have been following me, you know that I now own a manufacturing company. And this is exactly what happens with us. The raw materials comes to our facility. We make the product under, in this case, it says CD Factory. That's the manufacturer. Then there is a finished CD product. That product goes to a wholesaler or a distribution center so that the distributors, the wholesalers, and the retailers can get their product. Now, I did not mention to you wholesaler in the agreement discussion because, or the partnership discussion for distribution, because really it's kind of the same. It works the same pretty much. I am a wholesaler for pharmaceutical drugs. I have to get a wholesale license, which I do have. I will probably get them in other states because even though we're manufacturing a product, we will still offer other services under my manufacturing company, which means I might have to manage some of the inventory for our clients, which could include pharmaceuticals. So I may have to get a license for multiple states, a wholesale license. But it works kind of the same as a distributor. I would go to, in some cases, directly to the manufacturer, and they would consider me a wholesaler and ask for my wholesale license. I do not have to be a distributor. A distributor would mean I'm taking on a certain level of financial responsibility, which I was not interested in doing that. A wholesaler means I can buy from them directly and sell it to the government. And they do ask, who are you selling it to? In that case, I was not concerned about them wanting to know if I was selling to government because I made sure that they were not selling to government. And I would ask them up front, is that a problem? And they would tell me no. Some industries are a little bit different. In hardware, dealing with DLA, you have a lot of competitors and what I call haters and what somebody else in my community, the DLA community, calls old heads. People that are used to winning, they've been there a long time, and they're looking at you saying, I'm not sharing this space with you, so you may as well go back to where you came from. In the medical industry, we don't really have those kinds of problems. People are just doing business. So there are lots of different industries, but in this case, this is a manufacturer that sells CDs. So again, as you can see, they work with the wholesaler, they work with the distribution entity. They also have a center where they just house all of their products, and that wholesale distribution center probably is where the distributors get their products from. The wholesalers get their products delivered from there. And so you can just imagine how some of that would work. But finally, when it gets to the retailer, the wholesaler, and the distributor, they sell it to you because this manufacturer obviously does not sell to the contractor. So this is a great diagram demonstrating for you how things work behind the scenes. So this is just a quick diagram to demonstrate for you what it looks like for a manufacturer to have a distribution sales network. It actually looks pretty good if you think about it. The manufacturer does not have to do a lot of things that they would normally do to sell their products if they just create a distribution network. These distributors will do most of the work, if not all of the work, for them. They'll advertise, they will build their own sales network underneath their organizations or their companies, so the OEM does not have to do any of that. They just need to continue to build their distribution network. That's how they make sales. And then they don't have to deal with the customer service calls. They deal directly with the distributors. Even when it comes to some of the products, some of the returns, some of the damages, some of the things that manufacturers just do not want to spend the time dealing with the public about. So it's actually a smart move, but to me, it also limits your branding. But it makes a lot of sense. So you need to keep in mind that you may not be able to get to the manufacturer unless you want to become a distributor. That's a different conversation. You could get to the manufacturer if they wanted to offer you a distribution agreement, or if you wanted to become on your own a distributor. Now, underneath the sales distributor, so you see that I have 3 sales distributors, and each one of those sales distributors has multiple retailers and possibly suppliers of another level that they work with and that they deal with. So that's what that looks like, just so that you know. So they are getting the word out there. And when you think about it, the government, as your client, could get the product from the sales distributor, from you, the contractor, from the retailers. The government could get the products that they need from any one of these entities, including you. So keep that in mind. This is why you have to do your homework. The only one that may not be competing against you is the manufacturer. And then some of you know manufacturers that are competing because they do their own sales. You find that out when you do your research and when you look at the approved sources and when you look at the products and the part numbers or the product number that the government gives you, because they're telling you, I want this specific product. I want this specific part. So that's what this looks like on the inside when you're thinking about, so who am I dealing with? And one last thing, where are you going to get the best pricing? Well, of course you're going to get the best pricing with the manufacturer, but you can't get to the manufacturer unless you are a distributor, because they've already decided how they want to do business. So you can't talk to them directly unless you're talking to them about a distribution partnership. Okay? Now, sometimes you can get an okay price from the distributor, but again, a lot of times the distributors may be competing with you, or maybe the distributor just wants to do sales. Maybe that's all they care about, but that's up to you to find out. A retailer, supplier, third level, resellers, they just want to make deals. They just want to make sales. Sometimes you can get decent pricing from them as well, the resellers and the retailers.